What's happening, y'all? Welcome back again for the second time. This is the Creatia Conversation, the number one live daily nerdish news show on Pornhub. I am your host, Lord Cussalot Travis Pointer, aka the Dragon King, aka Big T, aka T Money, aka Sweet T, aka Black Merlin, aka the HNIC. And I'm joined once again by my co-host, the Warden, Matt Ritter.
And to be honest, the whole reason I didn't want to host today was I just didn't want to say all that shit. I've gotten away with it for so long, I haven't had to say it.
I hope you don't think that I'm going to host this show every time you're on it.
Not every time I'm on it, because I got to do it with Vince eventually.
Oh, I mean every time you're on it with me.
Oh, yeah, no, that was the plan. That's the schedule. Every Monday, Travis is the host, Matt is the guest host. Every Friday, Mara is the host, Matt is the guest host. Matt is only hosting on Tuesdays.
For now. Forget who writes the schedule.
That's true.
I mean, technically, you're supposed to host today anyway. I'm technically filling in for somebody else who's supposed to be co-hosting today. So, if you want to get technical.
That is true.
Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about, though. We're here to talk all that nerdish, just like we did yesterday. This one will probably be a bit more typical as far as how our shows will go. Yesterday was kind of special because the AVN Awards happened and we just had fun talking porn for an hour. But we're going to get into the news today. Before that, how you doing, man? What's going on? How's the move going? All that.
I know. It's going good. We're getting shit done. So I do this, and then I get off this, and I immediately go to work, and then I get off work, and I immediately go to the new house and drop shit off, and then I come home, and I've got like an hour or two before I go to bed, and then I wake up, and I load the car, and take a shower, and then I do this, and it's going to be a whole cycle for a week until, Mara and Vince get their shit straight and give me a couple days off. So, and then Thursday I gotta go to work early, so that's gonna throw everything off. But we actually have a question that was sent to me in a DM for you specifically from yesterday's show.
From yesterday.
Yeah. It says, need Travis to elaborate on why he likes TMNT 3 so much. Never heard anyone say they liked it before.
So, first of all, who was this question from?
I knew you were going to ask that. It's from TC.
Part of me just doesn't want to answer simply because it's from TC. But
I'm sure there are other people out there who would like to know.
That's why I'm going to go ahead and answer, because I know there are other people who probably want to know. If it was purely TC that wanted to know, I'd be like, fuck you, and move on. But
we got to end that. Like, how are we going to end this? Like,
I don't know.
That feud's got to go away.
This
is almost lasting as long as the Bret Hart Shawn Michaels feud in and of itself.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing: as long as it's still fun for me, I'm not dropping it. But here's the thing: I even said it. Objectively, it is a bad movie. I know that, but you know me for a long time. You know, I enjoy bad movies.
And
purposely and bad wrestling. Yes. So the thing is, if I'm watching it purely because I know how bad it is and how silly it is and just enjoy the silliness of it, I enjoy the fuck out of it. And that's pretty much what it is. Like the third Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie is a lot like the cartoon was. That 80s, early 90s cartoon, it was a lot like that. And I enjoyed that. Like you can 100% see the cartoon going back in time to feudal Japan. It's a thing. So that's why I liked it a lot as a kid. And I still like it now. Like I said, knowing how objectively bad it is.
Does the Japanese samurai stuff also have anything to do with it? Because I know that you are a fan of all of that as well.
It doesn't hurt. Yeah. But it's not a driving factor, but it doesn't hurt.
Okay. Also, hi to Amani and Allison in the chat.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
But so I was actually thinking about this because I thought, all right, so you asked me what I've been watching, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I can't tell you everything I've been watching because we gotta spread this out for 5 days. So Kate is a big fan of Oak Island. So we've been watching and catching. Well, we've been watching the
Wait,
most.
before you go any further, I just want to. You can answer this quickly, yes or no. Did you or did you not watch any Angela White last night?
I did not.
Okay. What about Ava Adams?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay.
You know what I did watch?
What did you watch? You watched some Kira Noir?
No, the 3 clips I could find from Spidey Pool.
Oh, okay. I did see those. I haven't watched them yet, but I did see them. Yes.
I went into Pornhub. I was there looking at Creation World's views and seeing how our episodes were doing. I was like, let me see what Spidey Pool's got, and that's what I watched last.
I know one of them was supposed to be like it was Mary Jane fucking Deadpool, and I didn't see what the other two were. I
one is Captain Marvel fucking Doctor Strange, and
right.
One is Spider-Man fucking Gwen Stacy Ghost
Spider-Gwen.
But it's in another universe. Like he shows up and she's like, yeah, in this universe, I'm Spider-Man and you're the Lizard and I had to kill you and now we're gonna fuck. And I'm like, oh, okay. That's interesting.
Oh, okay. Okay. I haven't watched them, but I did see them there. So yeah, I will check those out.
So I did watch those. But so we've been watching Oak Island and Young Rock are two of the other things that we watch on a weekly basis.
We've been watching Young Rock as well. It just came back this past Saturday. So
Oh, hey, Justin. Heel Tactics, who's done all the music for Smacking a Raw and Getting Off, and everyone is in the chat as well. And the Get Show podcast. Look at that, Travis.
And dropping some, helping with some new stuff for Dungeons After Dark as well. I appreciate that, bro. So we're collabing on that. But good to see you all. But yeah, we kind of got into what I was watching and playing before, but I'm still working my way through God of War Ragnarok because I don't have a lot of time, so it takes me a while to get through these games. Good old, hey, JJ's here too. All right. But what was I gonna say? God of War
Ragnarok.
Yeah. So I'm working my way through that. I also have The Witcher 3 got remade, remastered kind of thing, and if you already had it on PS4, you get it for free on the PS5 version. So I'm gonna go ahead and check that out once I'm done with God of War. So interesting stuff happening. Also, still, playing some D&D every week. So there's that.
And I hit you up last night. I may have gotten you someone new for that D&D concept you were coming up with. That's
gonna be a whole lot of fun.
Yeah.
Nothing concrete yet as far as who's gonna be in it, who's not. So I'm not gonna throw any names out, but I do have some irons in the fire as far as who I'm gonna put in there. Gonna be some fun folks.
So. Anything else? Nothing else you're watching? Nothing else going on?
I said Star Trek Discovery already. Yeah, that's all I can think of right now. I'm sure I'll think of another one by tomorrow. But it's a lot of stuff. It's how I decompress.
Are you keeping up with any of the wrestling? Like, are you watching Raw or SmackDown?
I mostly pay attention to what y'all say, and then every now and then I'll pop in. Like, I'll be watching the Rumble because that's my favorite show of the year. And I'll probably watch the Raw before the Rumble, maybe SmackDown before the Rumble, who knows? But yeah, I pop in every now and then. I'm not like, yes, that too. Abbott Elementary, we are watching that fantastic show. Those of you who are fans of things like The Office or Parks and Recreation, all those kind of things, Abbott Elementary is like that, set in a elementary school in Philadelphia. Fantastic show. If you all don't know who's in it, Quinta is in it along with I can't remember his actual name, but Chris from Everybody Hates Chris.
Yeah, that's how I remember him too.
Yeah, that nigga. But what's wrong with your eyes? What happened?
Well, she says she's at the bank early for an appointment, still waiting, and it's not looking good in her eyes.
The bank's not looking good?
Maybe the length of time she'll be waiting for an appointment is not looking good.
Oh, well, you can spend all that time watching us and hanging out.
Exactly. We'll keep you entertained.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I'm also a big fan of The Neighborhood. We got all caught up on Peacock or Paramount, whichever one it's on.
Paramount.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a CBS show, so it's Paramount. And then there's also, Outside on HBO. I already did, man. I already did. You missed it. So now what you got to do is after we're done, go back and watch the episodes so you can see at the beginning and give us the views. Because but I did.
Literally, TC, you asked the question and I read it and I asked him right here like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, I definitely answered that question already. Fantastic show. I love it. I do love it. And a lot of times shows like that, they get bad after a couple seasons. This one has not. It's still good. So yeah. Let's get into the news. Let's go ahead and do that. If not, we'll be hanging out talking about this shit all day.
All right.
And you got stuff to do.
I do.
So first thing we want to talk about is
well, good luck.
Yeah, well, tell them to hurry that shit up.
Yeah.
Get it together. Yeah, so you had something you want to talk about today. It's wrestling related. Normally that's mostly reserved for Smacking and Raw, but this is kind of a daily developing thing. So let's talk about it a little more.
All right. Yeah. So essentially, and I briefly touched on it on Smacking and Raw, but essentially Vince McMahon back in July, I believe, resigned from the board of directors, left wrestling. He was like, you know what, I'm done. Triple H and Stephanie took over creative. Stephanie became the president or co-president with Nick Khan. Triple H got his creative role. All this stuff happened. Well, as I put it on the Smacking Raw podcast, as the good Republican he is, on the anniversary of the insurrection, he stormed the boardroom like it was the Capitol, and reinstated himself as chairman of the board, fired 3 board members, hired 2 former WWE Network employees to fill 2 of the spots, and then 2 more people that were independent board members also left after Vince came back. Their stocks are up, but the real story behind all of this is, and this was reported by CNBC, is this is all in lieu of negotiating new TV rights and probably a sale of the WWE. And there's a whole list of people from Disney and Fox and Universal, Warner Brothers. There's a company.
Right, you touched on it yesterday because you said Warner Brothers was in the bidding for it, and we were talking about how Warner Brothers fucking up. But
yeah, and isn't Warner Brothers so? AOL Time Warner, that's also Warner Brothers, right? Technically, kind of, because it's Time Warner.
Think so.
And we saw what they did with WCW, so I really don't want them taking WWE because I feel like they just don't fucking value wrestling. Even though they've got AEW over on TNT and stuff, and they're doing that thing, like, I don't know. But there's also a Saudi company that is valued at like $16 billion who could be a front runner for buying WWE. Like, this is actually very scary for WWE fans and wrestling fans because you don't know what's going to happen to the product if they sell. And that's not something I ever thought would happen. Like, even when they talked about it, I'm like, there's no way Vince is going to sell that company. It's going to stay in the family. You know, it'll be the McMahons forever. Like, it's not happening. And then he retired. And I'm like, see, but now he's back. And now there's a lot of talk from Wall Street Journal, along with his allegations, from CNBC, like credible news sources, that this is leading to a sale of the company.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out if Time Warner and Warner Brothers is the same shit. And Google is not giving me any concrete answers right now. Hold on. But yes, I'll get back to that in a second. But so this is one of the things, like, they're trying to sell WWE from what they're saying. And those of us who have been watching WWE for as long as we have and follow wrestling as long as we have, all just had in our head that's something that's never going to happen. But now apparently it is. Is there a particular reason why a sale of WWE would be happening?
I have not seen in any articles a particular reason. I have my own theory, if you'd like to hear my theory on it.
Yeah, theorize.
All right, so Wall Street Journal has been reporting since just before Vince left the first time before he came back about all these sexual assault allegations and everything. And those are costly lawsuits. So I'm thinking Vince is trying to cash out and protect his interests pending some of these lawsuits so he doesn't go fucking broke while he still can.
Interesting.
Also, he has
so those lawsuits, are they against him individually or against the company?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
No, they're against him individually. This is hush money that Vince McMahon was paying people who worked for him to talk about their sexual relationships. These are allegations from former female referees.
That's what I'm saying. So is that an assault thing, or are these consensual relationships?
It sounds like at this point they were not maybe one or two of them were, but there are some that have come out that are non-consensual relationships.
Because when I first heard these things, I heard a lot of these were, well, not a lot of them. I heard that all of them were consensual things. They were just being paid off after it was over, and not, go out there and start, Stormy Daniels in him,
No, there's stuff from people in resorts and former lady refs and things that he may have done some things to, and then said, hey, don't say anything. I apologize. Here's some money. Let's be cool about this. And,
I see. Okay. Well, yeah, that's different. Okay.
So, yeah, no, he's got some pending legal bills coming up. What's up, Tim? And that and just the fact that because that was the whole thought of why they brought Nick Khan on, was they brought Nick Khan on to get the business in a certain spot so that they could sell the company. So if that's the case, Vince also, out of ego, has to be a part of that. He can't let WWE be sold without sitting at the head and being able to take credit for it. Like, I made this and I sold it. It was mine.
Is it that, or is it because I know it's publicly traded, but he's the majority shareholder and all that kind of stuff. So it's just like, he has the most to gain and lose in that situation. So wouldn't you want to be at the helm of it when that's happening too? Like, it's kind of like that makes sense to me. But
and being the majority shareholders, how he was able to storm the boardroom like it was the Capitol and just seize power.
Well, yeah. But my thing is just like, if the company's being sold, I'm the majority shareholder. Now there's like A shares and B shares and all that kind of stuff, and the way they structured and all that's complicated. And I don't pretend to understand it all. But if he's has the controlling shares of the company, even if you told me I couldn't come back, I'm coming back, because if you're selling my shit and I got the majority of the shares on this, I'm going to be a part of this. Fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I get you.
Is there anyone from that list that you would prefer to be able? Because like part of it is like they say Disney would be interested because it would bolster their streaming service. They would be able to put WWE on Disney Plus with that back catalog library, which honestly, Disney Plus is way more friendly than fucking Peacock. So
Here's the thing. I wouldn't think they'd do it because they also own Hulu now. So I would think they'd put it on Hulu.
Which it technically already is.
Yeah, but not like fully. Like they could put it fully on Hulu and like, day and date kind of thing. Like, the very next morning, the whole show is there instead of just,
And the only reason I thought originally I was like, there's no way they put it on Disney Plus, but then they put all of the Marvel Netflix shows on Disney Plus. They put Deadpool. Did they?
Yeah.
Well, the stuff on the network's censored now too. So,
yeah.
So that was the only reason I thought, okay, maybe there is a chance, because they took that TVMA content, put it on there. They got Deadpool and stuff on there. Like,
yeah, there are scenes that have been cut and all that kind of stuff. It's not like it doesn't, fully like alter the concept of the show or anything, but they did make changes to it when they put it on Disney Plus. That's why I thought they were just going to put them on Hulu so they wouldn't have to.
They should have.
Yeah, we'll probably end up going back to that PG shit though, and I don't want that. Like, we've done the PG thing already. We can
if
go ahead.
Disney buys it, Mandy Rose is never coming back with what's she doing.
Yeah. It will be good for, mechanically as far as watching it. Yes. But as far as the product goes, I don't know how I feel about it. But yeah, anything else with that?
No, honestly, if I had to pick one, even though I
didn't pick one. My bad. I didn't even answer your question. part of me is just like, if Warner Brothers has a contract that they have to adhere to, I'd be cool with that, because I'm not saying to be 100% all, no holds bar, anything goes kind of thing, but they'll be able to get away with a lot more,
See, I was thinking NBC Universal, because then nothing changes. Like, I feel like NBC has realized, especially after they did the TNN thing and left for a little bit and came back, and now with SmackDown on Fox. I mean, Raw and NXT are the two top viewed shows on the USA Network by far, like above anything else. So, like, I feel like they have more to lose than anything by losing those shows. And if anything, they'd want to get SmackDown and add that to their repertoire for ratings.
Right.
So, and then nothing really changes, because they're going to want the people running the show doing and getting the ratings that they've been getting. They're not really going to fuck with shit.
Yeah, that
and
all makes that makes
everything
a lot of sense.
Stays the same.
Yeah,
so
that does make sense, and it would still be on Peacock and all that. But, yeah, that makes sense. Now, problem is with depending solely on the fact that they're the highest rated shows. Yeah, that doesn't always guarantee you a spot, because could ask WCW, because even when they went out of business and they sold, they were still the highest rated shows on TNT and TBS, like, and not even close. The problem is they just didn't want wrestling anymore. So if that happens, then you have a problem. Thing is, because wrestling gets such high ratings, this is one of those things, I forgot where I read this at. It might have been Bischoff, but he was saying, like, it doesn't lead into things well. Like, you can't parlay that into other things, into higher views on other stuff. People don't stay on and keep watching after it goes off to watch what comes on next. So you're getting it purely for those 2 to 3 hours that you have them.
Yes and no, because I will watch both Chicago Fire, PD, or SVU, whatever comes on right before Raw, maybe like an hour to a half an hour of the show, but I'm still tuning into it before Raw comes on. I've got it on. Same thing over for AEW. Like, they'll have Young Sheldon or Big Bang Theory or something on. I'll have that on. I'm not paying attention to it, but I got it on. It's getting the rating. It's getting my view until AEW starts. So.
I don't know. Possibly. But yeah, that's the way I see it, though, is just, long as they still want wrestling, yeah, that would make perfect sense. But if, they decide they don't want it anymore, then there's a problem. However, I don't see that happen with NBC Universal. So yeah, that would probably be logically the best bet, if you want everything to, keep going smoothly.
That's the goal.
Mm-hmm. All right, so next story we got here. This one, I know I'm gonna pretty much have to take the lead on this, because you wouldn't know, but there's a lot happening in the D&D world right now. Basically, there's a new edition of D&D being play tested right now. We're in the 5th edition right now, is what's what I've been playing and what I had you all play before and all that. What they're doing right now is testing a new version called new edition called 1D, what they're calling 1D&D right now.
Mm-hmm.
The play test has been coming out, but also something that's been leaked, the open gaming license that they've had, which basically is what allows us to do what we were doing before, and also D&D, Dungeons and Dragons. What I'm talking about, JJ. So the open gaming license, like I said, is what allows us to do what we were doing before, what I'm planning on doing in the future, as far as, putting out new content and also writing new stuff to, sell and releases, as far as D&D source material and all that kind of stuff. You can do it pretty much in perpetuity within certain rules and all that, because of the open gaming license that Dungeons and Dragons has had for about 20 years now.
Okay.
Thing is, there are bigger publishers out there like Cobalt Press. I know some people have heard of Critical Role and all that kind of stuff. They all put out their own stuff and produce all kind of stuff. Stuff that I've bought, stuff that I've used. With this new one, basically, what was leaked, they haven't actually released it and haven't had anybody sign it, but it was anybody who makes any content for them has to report all earnings to them above a certain amount. I forgot what it was. And then once you reach another certain amount, you got to pay them a royalty fee.
Okay.
And then on top of that, anything that you use and make, they have full rights to it. So they can just take your shit and take all your money and all that. That's already bad enough. But then on top of that, when the plan was, according to sources, was to release it and then give people a week to sign it, or you can't make shit. The people that are already like making shit, you have a week to sign this, or you can't do anything anymore. Bless you times however many times you just did that.
Thank you.
So, yeah, people are upset.
Oh yeah, fuck that.
Mostly content creators, because they're just like, yo, you're fucking with my money now. And the thing is, I don't think it was ever going to go as far as being released, because this is probably something that was put together by the bean counters, the ones that are just like only looking at the money.
Mm-hmm.
Before it went through the people that actually make the decisions, it probably would have looked like, we can't get away with this. It would have probably stopped. The problem is it leaked. So, yeah, people are upset. Things are not going well for them online as far as Wizards of the Coast goes. They were doing so well with the one D&D thing, the play test. They were listening to feedback. People were like, yeah, I like this. We can change this, though. And they listened, and they're like, okay, well, we'll adjust this here. Things were looking good for them. And then
this came out.
Yeah. And I'm just like, ooh, that's not good. And the thing is, like, normally I'd look at it when I first at a glance, I'm like, I don't care. Like, I'm probably not going to make over $100,000 on this stuff anyway. I don't care. But then I'm looking at how it all is structured and everything, and it's like, wait a minute, this actually could fuck me over. Yeah. So I'm just, more concerned than I was before. And also, the thing is, there's other things that have come out recently, like an attorney or something looked over the original open gaming license. It was like, yo, it says in this open gaming license that this can't be changed and it is valid forever. So, like, if they put out a new one, like, it probably wouldn't stand up in court, most likely. But, if you throw enough money behind something, you can make anything happen. So we'll see what happens. They're making so much money now, though. It's just like, things like Cobalt Press and Critical Role and all that stuff brought Dungeons and Dragons back, because people were playing but not really paying much attention to it. I knew it existed and all that. It wasn't until 2020, the pandemic, when I was just bored as fuck one day and happened to just was looking at board games and board game tables and all that kind of stuff, and stumbled across Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot this existed. Let me look a little bit more into that. And then I discovered Critical Role and started watching Critical Role. So I'm like, oh yeah, I want this in my life. This. and
see, for me, I grew up with family members who played D&D. Like, they had a pool table and they had the whole D&D thing across the pool table and all that. And I never got into it. It wasn't my thing. Like, they used to play Diablo and shit. I eventually got into Diablo. And then here comes Travis swinging his big Creatia World dick saying, you guys are going to play D&D. And now it's got over 3,000 views on fucking Pornhub for
and
the
you
one
fucking
episode that we never came back for episode 2 for. So,
but you had fun.
I enjoy creating characters. You are correct. I still don't really know everything that I can or cannot do in the game. I'm not.
Well, most people don't the first time they play. Yeah.
I'm not fully immersed in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did a bunch of reading and then I kind of fell off, and I like playing characters. I like doing stuff like that. So there are things I enjoyed. I still don't know the full capabilities of what I can actually fucking do until you can get Mara and John to sit down and, do episode 2 over a year after episode 1 dropped.
Look, if we spread them out well enough, we can come out once a year and everybody's aching for it. And this time it comes out with episode 2 and it like triples the views. And I'm like, see? But no. Yeah, that's what's happening there, though. It's been interesting times. So we'll see what develops with this, because it technically was supposed to come out this month. So We'll see.
Yeah.
But you got something else here, sir. What else you got?
So a friend of the show who's been on Smacking It Raw, Will Gray,
shout out to Will.
Also writes for Sportster, but has been releasing articles on his own website, botchspotsandchairshots.com. And he has an article that you can go check out there today. In about 30 minutes for me, Mandy Rose will be on the Tamron Hall show doing a tell-all about her experience with WWE and being released and everything. So when I get done with this, on my way to work, I'm going to try and check that out or later.
Yeah, that's supposed to drop like literally right after we're done with this show, right?
Yeah. So, well, at least here in Chicago, I don't know. Cause like I said, somebody had a clip of it on Twitter earlier and I looked up and the closest time I could watch it was in Chicago, 1 p.m. So I don't know where it falls everywhere else, but, yeah, no. So you'll be able to go check that out, and hear her thoughts behind being released from WWE. From the little clip I saw, it kind of sounded like she was surprised. And that's like the only part that I have a hard time dealing with is there's no way. Cause we talked about this. Selena Vega had an OnlyFans where she was just doing cosplay, no nudity. WWE fired her for that. Said, if you want to keep doing that, we're done. Like, blah, blah, blah. Or streaming's like their whole deal with like streaming and Twitch and using their name and all that. So she left WWE, did her thing, and then she came back, but had to drop the OnlyFans and all that. Same thing with
so B-Fab. She did have to stop doing the other stuff.
Yeah, same thing with B-Fab. She had an OnlyFans, had to stop doing it from Hit Row. And Scarlett Bordeaux, after she and Karrion Kross got fired, she was doing an OnlyFans, came back to WWE. That OnlyFans got shut down. So there's no way Mandy couldn't have known, even though she was down in NXT and things were a little more liberal there, that, you know, being topless on a live stream and selling pictures of, you know, yourself naked and riding your boyfriend who used to be an ex-NXT wrestler and all the things that she was doing wasn't going to be an issue.
So there was actual nudity there. There was titty out.
Okay. Yeah, titties out. Topless in a swimming pool. Twerking in a thong. All sorts of stuff.
Okay. So just topless, not bottomless.
I haven't bought all of the content, but from what I have seen, from what she has been selling, because she was also doing dick ratings for money and things like that, that she may or may not have shown some of that. You know, I don't know how hardcore she got, but she did things that WWE is just not going to let her do.
Right.
I know she knew when they found out she was going to get in trouble.
I think maybe she figured once they found out they were going to tell her to stop and that would be it. Not that she'd be let go as soon as they found out.
And there are conflicting reports about, like, I've heard that she was said, hey, you know, you got to stop doing this, and then she's like, I'm making so much money over here, I'm going to go do that. Like, but we'll see what she has to say. Cause like I said, I haven't watched the full interview yet, so I'm curious and I want to see. And shout out to Will. If you want to go check out the article he wrote pre this interview about everything that's going on, you can go to botchspotsandchairshots.com and go check out that, go check that out.
Okay. Cool.
What's up, Kofi?
Yeah, okay. So it's dropping in Chicago at 1:00. Think you'll have a follow-up tomorrow then, or do you want to save that for Smacking It Raw?
It depends on what she says. I mean, depending on what because Smacking It Raw, I do like kind of a brief and I make jokes and everything. Like this is a little more. We're still making jokes. Like, we're talking about seeing Mandy Rose's titties, which I've wanted to see for years, and I finally got to. Like, it is what it is. I talked about it on Smacking It Raw. I subscribed for a month. Like, I threw her some support. Like, I want to see what I could get. Like, what's going on. I've been curious about it for years now to see what they look like. Now I know.
Now you know what her titties look like. Exactly.
But yeah, no, depending on what she says, if there's anything new or any like real insight on that, then she's making a lot of money. Then we'll do a follow-up.
Okay. Well, speaking of adult content, I want to let you all know and remind you that this episode of the Creatia Conversation is brought to you by MySensualSecrets.com. MySensualSecrets.com boasts one of the largest catalogs on the web across all varying levels of adult toy categories, with toys for him, for her, and for both. The product line is extensive compared to other competitors in the sexual wellness industry. Orders ship within 24 hours, so customers are always satisfied with both the price and the quality. MyCentralSecrets.com has top-rated reviews and exceptional customer service for you. So go to central.creationworld.com. That's central.creationworld.com and receive 10% off your order today.
You absolutely should. So I'm moving into a new house. We talked about at the beginning of the show, and I would love. I've been trying to convince Kate to go along with me creating a sex dungeon. Maybe like it'll be half office, and then the side that you guys won't be able to see will be the sex dungeon. And I'm gonna need some things to fill out that sex dungeon.
Mhm.
So why not go to mycentralsecrets.com, use promo code Creatia World for 10% off, and or go to central.creatiaworld.com for 10% off, and get yourself some toys, because listen, you need to spice things up. You do.
Mhm.
You can't just do the same position every night. You can't just do the same things. You get a little something to wear, throw a couple toys in there, mix it up, spice it up, keep it interesting.
Exactly. And listen, fellas, listen. I know some of you out there are like weird about you bringing toys in, like, my dick should be enough. No. Listen. Toys are the cheat code, people. All right. You can literally put in half the work by just bringing in the vibrator. Just boom.
You got to let that ego shit go, for real. Like,
for real. The satisfaction is what matters.
As long as she still lets you hit and you still get off and she's getting off and everyone's happy, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you use a cheat code, as Travis said, or,
exactly.
Sometimes you need a little assistance.
A wise man once said it doesn't matter how you find the pot of gold as long as you catch the leprechaun. All right?
Exactly. Just got to know how to find a leprechaun.
Exactly.
Some of you don't.
Exactly. It's not even hard to find. It's not hidden.
It's right there.
It's right there.
Yeah.
It's right there. Like, just go right there.
Ask, hey, where's that at? Can you show me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then
ask her, where's the leprechaun? She'll know what you're talking about. Yup. But anyway, moving on. We got one more.
DC news, right?
Yeah, we got some DC news here. So, it was announced yesterday that Greg Berlanti, the mind behind the Arrowverse and other CW shows, and Warner Brothers Discovery has signed a new mega deal. So, he bringing in all the money now. He just, even though we thought since the Arrowverse was done, that his deal and stuff would be done. Nah. So, this comes from comicbook.com, story by Russ Burlingame. Go check it out, y'all. Give him the views. He wrote the article. All right. So Arrowverse maestro Greg Berlanti has linked a massive new deal with Warner Brothers Discovery, setting up Berlanti Productions as a mini studio of Warner Brothers Discovery Television and linking Berlanti with Warner's at least through 2027.
Damn.
So, yeah, he's good for 4 years. Now,
and
go ahead.
I was gonna say, while he's known for the Arrowverse, that's not all he does for the CW.
Oh, no.
Because he's done Riverdale. I'm pretty sure he even did or had a part in Sabrina over on Netflix. So,
okay, I didn't know about that one. I knew he did that, but I know
Riverdale and Sabrina are connected. I'd have to look to be 100% sure, but I know that they're in the same universe, and I know he did Riverdale.
Well, then, yeah, he's behind that one too. If they're in the same universe, then. But he also does the shows that are on HBO, Titans and Doom Patrol. So he's earned his money, is what I'm saying. This new deal is.
I got to get caught up on Doom Patrol. I forgot that was on.
Fuck, you do. Every time I watch that show, it's just like I'm reminded because I forget, and then I watch. I'm like, this show is so fucking weird, man. Like, it's like, why is there a scrotum monster right now? Yes, you all heard me correctly. Those of you who don't watch Doom Patrol, there is a scrotum monster.
I haven't got that. I started watching the newest season. I think I'm maybe a week or two behind. I don't think I've seen the scrotum monster.
You've seen the scrotum monster. Those are earlier episodes. Those were previous seasons.
Oh yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. But so basically the way it's supposed to work is, as opposed to his former deal. His former deal, I guess, was one where he got paid to, put out more shows. So the more shows he had out, the more he got paid. So it's just like, yeah, I'll do another Arrowverse show spinoff. Pay me, But now, so I guess it's a more based on the success of the shows now, as opposed to the quantity of the shows. So we'll see what happens with that. But this is, big news. Those of you who were worried about Berlanti stuff going away, it's not. And he's still over the Superman stuff, Superman and Lois. So that's still a thing. We got this final season of Flash coming up. So yeah, should be good. He was developing a Booster Gold movie that was supposed to spin off from. Did you see the last season of Legends?
Yes.
Okay, so you saw Booster Gold was in that. He was
it was dude from Scrubs.
Yeah, him.
Yeah.
But they were supposed to do a movie too, like a thing. I don't know. They had jumped the shark at that point for me, but it was just, cool.
So, two things. One, Amani, if you're still listening, if you're home right now, I don't know if you are, but if you're home, instead of in the chat, the door, sir, get out, have to work, I'm gonna need you to bust in that door behind Travis right there and come join the show and say that next time. That is not something that should be reserved for the chat. That is a moment on this podcast that I need to actually happen. So just keep that in mind. Also, I want to tie everything together. So we talked about Warner Brothers possibly buying WWE. Now we're talking about Greg Berlanti.
Oh my God. See, you see, like, you see what I mean? Why would you do that? Why would you do that, man? That was unnecessary.
So much joy.
That was unnecessary.
I'm so happy right now. So half the work, huh, Travis? Half?
I love you.
I just made the show better. Anyway,
I'm not going to be shamed for efficiency. All right.
So Warner Brothers buying WWE. Now we got this Greg Berlanti stuff. I don't know if we want to look into it more. If you've heard, I was literally watching a TikTok right before we got on where they said that Henry Cavill, Gal Gadot, and Ben Affleck are all suing Warner Brothers over. And like I said, we could look this up and we could talk about it tomorrow. It's not a big deal. I'm just prefacing due to lost work from their contracts for the Justice League that Warner Brothers is now getting rid of. So with with the money they're paying Greg Berlanti and these impending lawsuits from 3 major stars, they might not have the money to go buy a WWE at this point. They may have other issues. So, but definitely something we could look into and talk about a little more tomorrow when we get some research done.
Yeah. If you still, whatever you saw that, send that to me if you still have it. But
it literally was just a TikTok of a guy saying what I just said. So I'd have to go look to see if there's any credibility behind it. But
makes sense. Okay. I think that's all the news for today, sir.
All right.
So yeah, that's the end of Newsy Time.
Yeah, so like she said, she knows. So they're suing because it seems they lost other potential. They turned down other projects because, Ben Affleck was promised to direct a Batman movie. They were supposed to be like the holy trinity of the Justice League. They had projects and things signed on, and now all that's getting scrapped under James Gunn, and they're no longer Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman. So now they're suing for those reasons. And we can look into it more and try to get some more details.
My thing is they lost other potential work. Are they talking about other DC stuff? Or are they talking about other work they turned down in exchange for that? Because they were still doing other shit.
I think they're talking other work that they turned down due to what was, like I said, we'll look into it. But like the scheduling and when movies were supposed to be released and when they were going to be on them. Like, I'm doing a DC movie. I can't do that.
Okay. Well, like I said, we'll look more deeply because it seemed to me like that hadn't stopped them from doing other shit. Because, like, Henry Cavill was still doing The Witcher until he's still doing this next season.
Well, he stopped The Witcher so he could do Superman, and then he got fired from Superman, and now he's out of The Witcher.
But he's even said himself that one didn't have anything to do with the other.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. But yeah, we'll do some more looking and we'll talk more about it tomorrow. But yeah, that'll be it for this this particular episode of the Creatia Conversation, y'all. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for joining us for lunch. Do not forget you can follow us on both Twitter and Instagram at It's Creatia World. That is at ITSCREATIA World. As always, I'm not telling you how to spell world. If you don't know how to spell world, get a damn dictionary. Also, you can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Creatia World. You can also, if you're watching us live, thank you very much. But if you're not, please do so. You can find us on twitch.tv/Creatia World, also on YouTube at youtube.com/Creatia World. And if you're there, subscribe, get us some subscriptions, get us, help us up in that algorithm. Yeah, also on Pornhub. Don't forget that, pornhub.com/model/Creatia World. But yeah, if you're watching us on Twitch, give us a subscription there. We really could use that. And if you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe to us for free. So just link your Amazon, your Twitch accounts, and you can subscribe with your Prime. Give us that Amazon money because they're just sitting on it. Bezos is just Scrooge McDucking around in his vault, and make him give us some money. And then honestly, if you don't give it to us, give it to somebody. Just use it. If you don't use it, you lose it because you got to use it every month. It doesn't renew automatically. You just got to go back and do that. We'll get into that later. I have not worked all that out yet.
Okay. I just want to make sure we didn't forget.
I didn't forget.
Ignore that ticker. Later. You want me to plug myself?
Hold on. I'm not done.
Okay.
Also, do not forget Patreon. Patreon.com/Creatia World. We can get all the extra stuff. Return to wrestling with myself and the Warden Matt Ritter. Also, multiverse with myself and Mara the Shark Watkins. And yes, as Matt had up here earlier, do not forget about CreatiaWorld.com where you get the overview of everything we do here and links to everything that we do here. Now, also, you can find me on both Twitter and Instagram at Lord_Cussalott. That is at LORD_CUSSALOTT. Matt, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter only at Matt Ridders, at MATTRIDDER. Also at Getting Off. If you're a horror fan, we have another podcast called Getting Off. Should be back within the next week or two. Facebook.com/group/Smacking It Raw. For all of your wrestling on Facebook, come check us out. Great group. We have that as well. And you can catch me every Friday live on Twitch for the Smacking It Raw podcast, the number one wrestling podcast on Pornhub, live on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. Wherever you want to go, we're your source.
All right. It's been a good time. Did you have fun, sir?
I did have fun. I got to talk about sex dungeons. I got Amani to come in and harass you. It was a good show.
All righty. That'll be it for this episode. We'll catch y'all tomorrow. Until then, we out.
Peace.